Thanks for joining.
I'm Reese.
I'm Joe. You're listening to Poly by Nature,
the podcast where you can have your cake and eat it too.
So we went live earlier.
Yeah.
And it was a great opportunity to kind of connect with people. I do want to do that more often.
We released the episode, we went live, and recorded all in one day. So I think we could just have a full podcast day where we dedicate
it's
the
a
things we're
whole
doing.
day of podcasting.
Yeah.
All right.
So what we're kind of doing now is like preparing for a change in dynamic. Possible change. I don't want to put pressure on nobody.
Right. It is because there's some opportunity for me to talk to somebody or some bodies. There's just some changes that are coming in there. So the conversation is going into us talking about what a V looks like and what it feels like in our life. How we're going to look in dynamics when it comes to, how we moving and grooving, time management, how we're operating, how we feel, just being honest and transparent with each other about those things. Especially if the opportunity is to bring someone into our relationship, just making sure that, we're ready for that.
When you say into our relationship, you just mean not actually into our relationship.
No, I mean like into our circle.
Yeah.
Like, a V is a V. So the definition of a V is there's me at the bottom and pivoting to two separate people at this point. So yes, no, there's no connection of like somebody's moving into the house with us and like, I'm sleeping.
Basically, you have another partner.
Correct. No full beds.
No. Which, honestly, I enjoy the V dynamic.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say you enjoy the full bed. Because I love a full bed. But keep going, please.
I enjoy the V dynamic
mm-hmm.
because it allows space.
Right.
A V versus in the past when we've dated, I think your mindset was more geared towards creating a triad.
Correct. What does the space mean to you? Like, what do you like about that space opportunity?
Well, because there's no pressure. When you do this time around versus the past, I'm not expecting you to create a group message that involves all of us and that you're like, babe, we're in a group message talking. Where are you?
Right. No response is not a good thing, especially when, that's your thing though. When you're in a group message, you're not a great responder. And I know that you don't like group messages. So I've learned that, but like.
And I voiced that.
I understand that. So I try not to put you in any group messages at all. Because I wanted to be the answer for both of us. Oh, yeah. She said, okay. And I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. So no more group messages. I get that part of it. But so other than space, is there anything else that you kind of like about it? Like, I feel like, do you like, when you say space, does that mean like? There's
no pressure on forming a friendship.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
There's more of a natural, organic feel behind it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really have to yield us. Like, we have to go out and eat together. Mm-hmm. And we need to go out and hold hands together. And we need to go to the park together.
Who holds hands together?
I would. Physical touch, 2 hands. That'd just be, anyways. Listen, I get it.
So I'm actually looking forward to it and then it gets you out the house away.
Yeah.
So
are you okay with that?
I am.
Like we were just having that conversation. It was like, what if I'm out and it's a late night and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be out until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. How does that feel? How do you prepare for that? How do you mentally take that in?
I have no expectations.
Okay.
So like in the past, when you say I think this past Sunday you went out and when you told me you were going out, I'm just like, okay. So my expectations for that wasn't even that you were coming home that night.
Right.
So it's
which I did though.
Yeah, you did.
Because I wasn't like, I feel like if I'm going to stay out for the night, like I need to pre-warn you. And I know I don't necessarily that you need
that would be nice, but I'm not expecting it.
Right. See, and I'm the opposite. Because if you had left and you're going somewhere and you're going to be gone for the night, I won't sleep. Because it'll be naturally like, I'm like, okay, are you in a safe spot? Are you okay?
You get over it.
I try. I don't know. Like, I'm like, plus I like sleeping next to you. As much as sometimes we fight about who's the bed's so big, but then all of a sudden you're like, you in my space, you on my side.
You always in my space.
I always got to be on that side of that bed. I enjoy sleeping with you in a normal capacity. It's like, it's a comforting thing. And that's the other thing. I don't do well sleeping with other people. So it's like in the real world, I'm like, if you snore or if you're like a kicker or whatever, I'm like, I don't want to be here. This isn't my pillow. This isn't my sheets. I can't see the clock from a different, like, I don't know. I guess in the real world, I'm like, I hate to be that guy, but hey, you have a great night. I'll see you later. And I got to come home.
Interesting.
How do I come home though? What would be the best avenue?
I think you need to discuss that before your night begins. Like
I'm not staying the night.
The expectation of you staying or going.
You think people want people you think as a female, if you had a guy, you would want him to stay the night?
I'm different. I like my space.
Right.
Like I'm
right.
I want you out.
I'm like, read the room, right? I'm like, all right, well, thanks. Have a good night. I don't want to stay. I find it hard to be in the company of someone else and not in my own home. Like maybe I don't feel safe in someone else's house. Like what if somebody walks in, or what if, who has access to that? And if I got to lay my guard down and fall asleep, I want to be in the safety of
I
my
think
home.
that comes with time and trust though.
Yeah.
And just building that relationship. I can understand that in the beginning with anybody. Even if you were in a monogamous relationship and you were seeing something, you'd still have that same feeling going over that person's house.
Yeah. For coming home, what's the best way you think that we should do for reconnecting? Like, is it like, I was thinking this the other day, like if I came home from being with someone else and I like grab a shower, because I'm like, let me grab a shower just so I don't, even if I didn't do anything. I think a lot of times I come home and I'm like, okay, I just want to grab a shower because I feel like I'm just resetting myself back into the house without the insinuation that I've been out there doing anything sexually at all. But I want to restart the moment, restart the day. I'll even like brush my teeth and wash my face before I kiss you. It's like I do all these little rituals that like, I don't know. Like I just feel like not that I'm dirty, but at the same point that I'm like, I don't know. What would you think I should do as a man when I come home, no matter where I've been or what I've done? How do I reconnect with you in a way that makes you feel okay? Because I know when I come home, sometimes if I go out, you definitely are a little bit more withdrawn.
I think the start is how you left.
Mm-hmm.
Communication beforehand. Me knowing that you were leaving and not it being a surprise that you're leaving.
Right.
I think you mentioned earlier today, you casually said, I think I might have plans Saturday anyways. Right. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Because I'm setting the groundwork a little early.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, I might have plans because I still don't technically have a solid plan.
Which is fine.
But I also don't want to wait until Saturday at 3 o'clock to say, oh, I have plans tonight.
So I've already planned for Saturday to be my homework day.
Okay.
So it's like, I already know that, I have hours of work to do.
And I'll just be bothering you.
It just depends on how much notice I have ahead of time so that I'm not expecting that I'm spending the day or evening with you.
Right. No, I can respect that. And I guess when you go out, a lot of times you go out, I'm typically not here anyways. I'm at work or I'm moving and grooving through the city. So
if you left properly, then that's cool. And then I guess coming back, I'm naturally at least a little distant.
Right.
But I don't like resist you. I don't like push you away or move away from you or anything. So I think we just need to purposely reconnect in those moments.
Right. I agree. I think when you go out, for me, it's like I want to know next to nothing. I just want to know that you're safe and you like time was okay. Where sometimes I think I can come home and maybe overshare a little bit.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Right. And I'm learning not to do that. Like I'm learning not to.
I mean, on a regular day, it's fine. But I think when you're in a relationship, I don't need it. Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this in the earlier live about not oversharing, about, there's some things that you need to know, but there's some things that you just don't need to know.
Yeah.
Respectfully. Like I'm not withholding something that is like, oh, this could actually hurt us or anything like that. I don't need you to get into the formalities of like, oh, we had corn, we had a great dinner and we made this. Like, you don't want to hear that. I don't need to tell you those things.
No, because when you're with me, I want you to be with me.
Correct. And when I'm not with you, I need to be invested into who I'm with at the time. I can't be like, oh, guess what me and Reese was up to yesterday. Like I need to be careful of doing that as well. So being present in the room and with the person that I'm at, knowing that the person who I'm not with at the time is okay.
Very much so.
Yeah. Doing homework and being a better person in my world.
We're going out.
We're going out.
So let's talk about, because you haven't had a potential partner in at least 6 months, and then before that an actual partner for a while since then.
Right.
So let's just get into like your caution and like your patience, and you don't just go with anyone that approaches you or is like, hey, I'm interested.
Right. Here's the thing. I was talking to a friend and she has said to me, the one thing that is great about you is you're not pressed for sex.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people who claimed in the past to be poly that is in our area, it was a lot of guys who were just like, yeah, I'm poly. That way we can have sex and I can kind of move freely. And it didn't have much regard behind it. So it was kind of like a sexual start of a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm not pressed for sex. Like I'm not pressed for any of that. So when we had our past relationship situations that didn't necessarily work out, and not because of anything bad, maybe just because we weren't technically with someone who thought our journey was their journey, which respect, I kind of pulled back a little bit. And those cautions came from just like, I didn't want people to practice poly on us.
Yeah.
I don't want to date somebody or try to date somebody who's not poly, who's strictly thinking that they're going to some way steal me away from you. Like I'm going to be magical, wake up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave Reese and be strictly with you. I'm like, no, that's first and foremost not going to happen. We live in a very small community where everyone knows somebody who knows somebody, right? And so there's always the question mark of like, if I'm out with a friend and I'm having coffee, or I'm out with a friend and having dinner, are you going to be okay with somebody saying, oh, she's out there with Joe and he's the poly guy. Wait a minute. Does that mean you're poly? And are you comfortable with that? Are you okay being seen with me? Are you okay with time? Like the time management part of it. We're going to talk about time management a little bit later, but like, you know, you're not going to have access to me 100% of the time.
Right.
And I don't need access to you 100% of the time. So cautionary wise, sometimes you'll date somebody and sometimes there's very needy people in relationships where it's like, once you get off of work, I need you to be over here and I need to see you every day and I need to talk to you every day. I'm a man that can go a couple of days without talking to you. And it's not that I don't have interest. It's just that I know life is happening. And so you can do what you doing to somebody to death, or how you doing today to death, or don't good morning me king or queen to somebody to death, right? Like you don't want to, if it's not something that's like with intent, I don't want to just waste my conversation on you. So I'd rather us go a couple of days and then be able to have a conversation and say, hey, let me tell you what happened at work and let me tell you what happened at home.
But you don't know if somebody's like that until you're actually...
You don't know what people are like until you enter a situation.
But I guess that's kind of the point of taking it slow and not just jumping into something with someone, because you can kind of get an idea if you're trying to be friends with them, at least for a while, how they operate. Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of my friendships stay friendships, but anything that is changed or possibly progresses comes from naturally being friends. And I'm like, oh, I know how this is as a friend. Like, I'm not just going out and dating somebody on date one and be like, okay, you want to try this relationship with me? Like, it takes a while.
Yeah.
And so like what our past experiences, it slowed me down a bit, because before I used to kind of rush the gun of like, hey, she says yes. Like she says she'll try this. And I'm like, all right, let me try to figure this out fast so we can move on. And I was skipping a lot of steps. And a lot of steps I was skipping were the ones that were showing me themselves to me. Like a lot of the red flags of, hey, she wants you more time. Hey, is this a situation that, where if she has a friend or a boyfriend on the other side, is he okay with me being here? All those questions that you don't know, if you rush those processes, you actually wind up just struggling for the whole thing. So
what's your ideas now just on time management? Just in the past week, your time has decreased.
Big time. I lost an extra day off of work. So it's like I'm starting to find myself kind of panicking a little bit, because I'm like, do I have enough time to be in a relationship with somebody? And do I have enough time to give a relationship full effort? Because lately, like I come home and I'm just like, I'm shot. I'm mentally tired.
Yeah, you've been struggling lately.
I'm physically, I'm drinking coffee at 7:30 at night because I'm like, okay, I need to stay up and really have this avenue of communication with you. So, I think anybody who's talking to me knows what my life is and knows how my life flows. And knows that like when I'm giving you everything I got, I'm giving you everything I got. But when I'm like, I'm turning it off, I'm going to bed, I'm done. Like I can go to bed in a matter of seconds if you let me.
I know.
I'm sorry. I know you want to be up and talking sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm sorry.
And then you just like out of nowhere start snoring.
Yeah. I've been tired. I'm trying to change the world so we can have a legacy.
I think it's important though that you find that balance.
Yeah.
That balance in family, relationships, work, and yourself. Like that's dividing the pie up a lot.
Yeah. Financially, that was the other thing. It's not cheap to date multiple people.
No. What'd you say the other day? If you can't handle the cost,
don't try to have multiple spouses. And that's real though. Like we were talking to a guy from Africa who said, if you can't have multiple wives if you don't have multiple streams of income.
If you can't take care of them.
You can't take care of them. Nobody wants to be like the second wife of a guy who's broke, right? Or nobody wants to be the second husband of a woman who's not, leading him somewhere great. So you got to have that financial implication in there. You got to be able to talk about it out loud. There's a lot of things that come with being with multiple people. Like not only just time, not only just like the connections, not only just like, there's so many little things that kind of go into it. And so from the outside looking in, people are like, oh, I'd love to have 2 wives or I'd love to have 2 husbands, but it's work.
We were talking about the difference of like when you see a person cheat versus being open in a relationship and stuff, like the responsibility difference.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like when you're cheating, you're just getting in where you fit in.
Literally.
Like there's not much responsibility there. Yeah. But some people do pull it off and have a whole nother family or something somewhere else. That's skill.
That's like a whole nother kids and everything.
Yes, a whole nother setup. But usually with cheating, there's not that much responsibility involved.
Yeah.
You just go when you go. There's no responsibility in quality time or, responding to messages and phone and stuff like that.
You're not even spending the night most of the time.
Versus, actually having an open relationship and committing to that quality time and that communication and that.
I was thinking when I used to cheat back in my cheating days, it was always with somebody who had a partner because it was like they didn't have the time. I didn't have the time. So
they didn't need you as much.
They didn't need me, right? And so like if I ever cheated with someone who didn't have a partner, I would never want to because I'm like, you're going to want something past what we have. Like, and so even now being poly is like, I actually don't mind my V partner having a partner if they had one, honestly. And it is because maybe that takes the onus of like time sometimes, you know what I mean? Like,
because it takes some of the pressure off of you.
Right. But that's tough because it's like, it's not many poly couples around us, right? So for me to be with another female and say, okay, yeah, you got a boyfriend, that's great. As long as he's cool with all of us, then let's just keep this moving. Many men aren't cool with that.
Yeah.
And so I'm even finding that I'm losing friends from my past. There's just like, hey, I know we're really tight and we're really close, but my boyfriend or my husband just doesn't like the idea that you and Reese are poly and like, you guys can try something else. I'm like, well, we've never tried something at that, right? Like there's a stigma out there, like because we're poly that we're going to like try to like lure somebody in or like, I can't just be a friend to a female and you can't just be a friend to a male. Because I'm pretty sure like if you have men friends who aren't poly, their girlfriends are probably.
I tell my guy friends to make sure, I have a guy friend who is poly, his wife is poly. And then I have a friend and I just tell him, make sure you introduce me day one.
Right.
Like I'm there from the start. Make sure they know that I'm just a friend, that I'm here.
Right.
It ain't nothing crazy.
Right. Like, yeah. Because there's this lack of trust when it comes with us from other people. Because again, poly has a stigma of sex and it's like, oh, so you got a poly friend? Like, are you having sex with them? Are they like, and it's like,
not
no,
even at all.
I'm not even interested in that. I'm not even interested in you. I just like friendships and relationships and stuff like that. So I was talking to you yesterday or a couple days ago when we were moving in, we were talking about a V. And I said to you, I feel like I can only handle so many people in my life when it comes to relationships. And I looked up the term polysaturation.
But you don't have that many people.
No, but like.
You have a lot of friends that you commit to.
Correct.
And now that you have an actual potential partner, you can't get scared now.
It's not, no. It's not. Wait a minute. It's not that I'm scared. Here's the thing. It's just that I think I can only handle two people or two connections or two relationships that are growing versus like maybe 3 or 4. Like I don't know how people can do so many relationships.
On what level?
I mean, on a level that's like, hey, if we keep working at this, we could possibly be something.
So two real potential partners, not just like friends.
Correct. Right. So like, I kind of equate it to having like lines in the water, right? Like I have multiple lines in the water, and a lot of them, the lines I know will never bite because they're just a friend line. But, a line that's bitten, I'm like, okay, I'm pulling this in. It feels kind of tight. Okay, this could be something. But then all of a sudden I get a little movement over here and I'm like, oh crap. Am I pulling the wrong one up? Like there's this thought of me like.
So you got a lot of options and you're trying to figure out which ones.
I wouldn't say a lot of options. I just got to say, like, I have friends and nothing that is heavy, but like if I put pressure on some things, not pressure, I should say, but if I really kind of say, hey, I'm interested, I can maybe change some things in my life. But I'm like, it's weird because it's like, I never want to lose a friend to something that is like, hey, we tried this and it didn't work out.
Not the same after.
And then it's weird. And I don't want to lose a friend for that. And so I pull back. And that's probably why this year I've not really kind of moved into a situation with anyone, because I'm just like, man, I'm really enjoying these friends, and I'm really enjoying these things of these like really civil connections. And so now I'm like, I just don't want to overdo it. I don't want to saturate the market with just potential partners. I just want to be straightforward with people. I don't know. How you feeling over there about that? Like, could you imagine me with like 4 or 3 partners? I don't think I'd be even sane.
You wouldn't go that far because you don't have time.
I don't have time.
You don't even want, like, you keep saying you want your other partner to have a partner. Like, you don't even want the responsibility of a full partner.
Not yet. Like, I do want a full partner, but I want it to kind of naturally happen over time. It's like, how you first dating somebody and you maybe go over to the house once in a while and you guys maybe watch a movie once in a while. And then you feel a little bit more safe and comfortable in their space, and they feel more safe and comfortable in your space, and there's in your space, and you start to hang out a little bit more. Next thing you know, you're living with somebody. I'm not trying to live with nobody, but at the same point, it's like, I just want my time to kind of flow correctly.
What are some positive things that you're looking forward to? Because this is what you've been manifesting, and this is what you talk about you want that other partner. I mean, you've been claiming king status for
I have been claiming king status.
King with queens for a long time. So now that you could potentially be entering a relationship, what are some positive and fun things you're looking forward to?
Well, just connections on love languages, new relationship energy. There's things that, when you first start talking to somebody, things that are like, all the things are new. So it's like, those things I haven't done with that person could be like, oh, these are new experiences, and these are different things in there. It's growth between us. I believe sometimes when I used to have relationships in the past, that we were starting our poly journey, I felt like I was a better man to you, because it was like, if I was out with someone else, I made sure that, like I said in previous episodes, that home was taken care of. But not only just home, like I feel like I dive deeper into you in a lot of situations, because I never want you to feel like I'm not here on a lot of things. So those are important to me. So there's a lot of great things that come with being in a V, in space for you, where like you can still do your thing, but you can like, okay, I can actually have my night to myself, and I don't have to attend to like, hey babe, have you eaten? Hey, are you okay over here? Hey, do you need, it's just, I got my space. Right. And so like, you have that ability to have that space. I can maybe impact someone in a good way. I can, give them, me in a real way, and they can say, okay, hey, my life is a little bit better now that I have you around. So it's being able to protect somebody else, is being able to kind of show that love and affection into someone else, is just giving it back. And that part of me of giving feels good.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm excited about whatever comes, even if nothing comes. I'm excited about just life at this point right now, this journey that we're at right now. This is a good milestone in our journey of just we've been manifesting. I've been manifesting. You've been manifesting as a whole together. We've been talking about a lot of things. Our communications have gotten better, and even last night we were talking. I was like, hey, what do I do here? What do I do there in these V's when these situations come up? So we were starting to kind of talk more about differences and things that we haven't experienced in some time.
We've also, in the last episode, we mentioned a lot of things we're doing to strengthen us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is extremely important when you're adding additional person to your relationship.
You think I should start rituals with a different person as well? Like how important that is? Like, just to have things that are like, non-negotiables. Hey, here's how I connect. Here's what we should do to connect.
I think it's definitely important because you're going to be experiencing some of the same things over there.
Yeah.
The coming and going,
mm-hmm.
the communication. You've talked about, what happens if I see you out, or just know exactly what you want to do in certain situations. That way there's no thinking about it. There's no second guessing,
Right. I guess if I was sitting on the opposite side of this camera, listen to this conversation, I would probably ask a question like, when do you think you would be ready to meet somebody that I'm talking to? Is there ever
Me?
Yeah. Like when would you actually be ready and like, hey, this person sounds pretty great and you've been talking to this person for quite some time. I'd like to meet them. Is there ever a point where you're like, they sound cool. Let's go out and grab a bite to eat and, or not?
I don't know. Because I feel like I don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
So it's like, of course, I'm not opposed to it at all. Like if we're out and, we run into someone, that's perfectly fine. Or if I'm out and I run into you guys, that's perfectly fine. But I just wouldn't purposely do it.
You just happen to be at the same restaurant?
I'm not like, let's all three meet at this spot and hang out. I guess I wouldn't.
See, I enjoy the idea of a kitchen table poly life.
I do too, but
because
if we naturally navigate towards each other.
Yeah, naturally. And that's the one thing I definitely want to say, that is organic. Because I love cooking. Mm-hmm. And I love cooking for you and I love cooking for somebody else at the same time. I love the idea of being in the kitchen with an apron on and two women in the kitchen, chopping it up, talking.
Yes.
I love that. Like I'd actually do that.
Didn't you say you want to offer that as a service?
I do want to do you want the Black Plant Zad experience where, I come and we cook and we talk.
In your apron?
Oh man, that's my ultimate goal.
I think someone would pay for that.
I think somebody should pay for that. If you're interested in paying for that.
No.
Okay. Hit me up later. DM me. There's a charge. Anyways, I just really want to have a great organic way of being in a V.
Yes.
I think if and when I enter into a V, that I want to do it in a way that's really straightforward, really honest, great communication, just has everything that we require. And then we know like our time management is done right. We know that like the financial part of it, I get. Like I know all the things that it takes to be in a V. I just have to lead confidently while I'm in that V.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Confidence, and I wouldn't say certainty because you don't have to be so certain about everything.
Yeah.
But that confidence is definitely so important in leading in relationships, because any type of indecisiveness, uncertainty that you bring around here is going to bring insecurity.
Gotcha.
Around here.
No, I can respect that. And I always kind of say, hey, I'll drive the boat of life. Like I'll drive this thing, but I look to you for guidance. Like you got the map, right? So I'll drive it. You give me the map. And if I'm adding someone else, I'm asking them to actually hold the other half of the map and say, okay, help me guide the ship. So it's not you saying, hey, you can't talk to me about, hey, I need help to be guided in the situation. I just can't come to you and be like, I don't really know.
Exactly. The decisions are yours.
Yeah.
You do what you're going to do, and you need to be confident in what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And I support that.
I can live like that. I like that idea more than anything else. Lead like a king. I'm your king, girl. You're my queen.
I don't like being called a queen.
You don't like being called a queen?
No, it just sounds so corny sometimes. I mean, you are my king, but I just don't like.
You're my queen, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. How to deal with alone time when your partners are gone with other people.
I think we dealt on that.
Okay. Any fears of falling in love, deeper connections elsewhere, and leaving or dating a monogamous person? Like, in a lot of our connections, we may not always be talking to someone who's poly.
Yeah.
So we could be talking to someone who's monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have a fear, or have you ever had an idea or a thought that comes up and that's like, Joey could love this person in a deeper way. Joey could want to live with this person or anything like that. But I think we kind of said that, like, even with me just sleeping, I need to sleep in the same bed as you.
But like I said, I think being comfortable in somebody's space just comes with time and experience in that relationship. But no, I think security in a relationship is extremely important. We have security within each other, not just in the fact that we're in a relationship. We have security in each other and in ourselves.
Yeah.
So I don't have a fear of you leaving me for someone else.
Right.
I think that if it ever got to that point, then it was definitely meant to be.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to get to that point if it's not supposed to.
I think for me, it's a confidence thing, right? I'm confident that I'm the man that no matter what will always be in your life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, and this is not like a cocky thing, but I don't think any man can come here and say, everything that Joe did, I can do better and you'll never need him.
No.
Yeah. And I don't think there's a woman that's going to walk into my life and it's like, anything that Reese can't do or won't do, I'll do and do better. And everything that she does, I'm like, yeah, that is not what I'm looking for.
It's never about finding someone better,
right,
or replacing what we already have.
Right. I think it's just adding to what we have.
Absolutely.
Like anything that, like, there's a gap or there's a space in there that somebody can say, okay, I can add to that and make more life whole. That's important to me.
So it's not about replacing what I have. I love what I have.
Right.
I love everything that we do and our experiences. We are very different people. Mm-hmm. So it's like that opportunity to add someone who's even more different.
Right.
Who can bring something that, we're not experiencing is just nice.
Yeah. And I get that. But you're secure in us, and adding doesn't actually take away from that. No, that's important.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. That's big. I don't think there's much. I mean, anything we walk into now, even if it's unsure, it doesn't have a commonality to us, and we don't feel like, oh, this is something we've done before. We still walk into it with confidence to know that, like, no matter what, we're together. We're going to figure it out, thick or thin, bad or good. Like, we're going to make sure we understand this thing, and we're going to treat situations very correctly. Like, I don't think I haven't walked into a situation I can think of in the time where I'm like, I'm just going to walk in and tell you no. Like, I want to walk in situations really with an open mind and try to be, at least learn from them. Because when I tell you no, it's not because it's a no because I don't trust you. It's a no because I don't understand things. And I'm just
when you tell me no, I just want whatever it is that much better.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Even if I don't want it, it's just like, oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, whatever. At some point, I just go, whatever. But no, I think this is a good episode. Anything else that you want to rap about? I feel like we've talked about everything on the list. Yeah. I feel like the V is definitely going to be our conversation for a little bit, just navigating through them, feeling how they feel, slowing down a little bit.
And it's a V because I don't think that I'm looking for anything more than friendship at this moment, just because I have so much on my plate.
Yeah.
If it's not just genuine friendship, I don't think I can add anything at this moment.
It's funny. I feel that way slightly just because of this work and this promotion I've taken and these things that are going on. But at the same point, it's like, I just don't want to shut off the world because I feel like I'm not ready for things. So I want to walk into everything with an open mind. So I encourage you to do the same. I know you're still going through some stuff and you're still working on some stuff personally, but like, keep it open, keep the mind open, and if somebody's willing to be in your life, they'll wait till the time is right and they'll understand, like, hey, this isn't our year, but I can still kind of grow our friendship for a year.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think that at the end of the day, it's like, I don't want to force anything. I don't want anything that, like, coming to me needs to be forced. It doesn't have to be. It will come to me naturally. So I'd say the same to you, like, just let things flow and let life happen. And it's okay if it isn't this year. It's okay if it isn't this month or this day. I like that. I appreciate you sticking to our rituals. I do want to make sure we talk tonight. I need some.
Oh, you still want to talk tonight? I thought of that. I was actually going to add it to the calendar. Then I'm like, you know what? We're doing the podcast tonight. He probably won't. He's going to be tired.
Yeah, but I still want to talk. I still feel like I need the little connection of talking tonight.
Someone, I put up that post asking people to comment their favorite relationship rituals. And we got a comment on there. And someone said they do with their partner 30 seconds. And I'm going to read it because I don't want to
butcher it.
Make something up. It says, me and my partner do this thing, and Creek the Creative said this. We do this thing we call 30 seconds. It's basically a request that either one of us can invoke at any time, whether we are mad, happy, or whatever. It's fulfilled by coming close and being in contact for 30 seconds. Most times she sits on me or I lay on her, but any form of contact is fine. So I would like to use that.
Okay. But so it's like we're having a bad moment or we're just not connecting, that any one of us can just raise a flag and say, this is our 30-second window.
Anytime throughout the day where either one of us is in need of a connection, attention, affection, whatever it may be.
Okay.
I think that would really help.
Okay. I'm in.
And I think the fact that it's 30 seconds makes it extremely realistic and doable.
Right. No, I agree. I think we went to therapy. He talked about the importance of a hug that lasts longer than 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And that physical connection that comes in there. So I think that makes sense. I'm all up for that. Is there a secret word that we tap in? Like pulling out a card. I'm here for my 30 seconds.
No, just say, babe, I could use 30 seconds.
Babe, I could use 30 seconds tonight.
I want more than 30 seconds tonight.
I got you. We encourage everybody to kind of throw us comments, throw us questions, tag us in some stuff that you think we want you to talk about.
Any tips, advice, or anything like that for entering into or changing your relationship dynamic, routines, boundaries that you set, any type of advice.
Yeah, we'd love to hear
in the
that.
comments on YouTube.
Yeah. You look great tonight. I love you.
Why, thank you.
I can't wait to give you my 30 seconds.
Yeah?
Yeah. All right, I'm done. Have a good night. Hey, thanks for listening. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
And connect with us on social media. You can find our links in the description.
You hungry? I got extra for you.